What's up, what's up? It's Saucy Rossi, and today I'm back with another pulled pork video, but this time with a little Nova Scotian twist. That's right, I'm making truly Nova Scotian pulled pork, because we do it a little bit differently out here in the Atlantic provinces. For example, using a dill pickle hot sauce, that's just why we have a better lifestyle out this way. So if you pay close attention to this recipe, it will set you on the path to success when it comes to pulling pork with your smoker. Now for this recipe, I'm going to be using my offset smoker, but any sort of smoker will work perfectly fine. And since we're going to be smoking a pork shoulder, you can honestly use hickory, applewood, cherrywood, pecan, or oak. But like I said, today we're making Nova Scotia pulled pork, so that means we're going with maple, because it adds a sweet and mild smoke, perfect for those who want a subtle, light, sugary flavor in their pulled pork. So as you can see here, I've got my pulled pork shoulder, and I've actually used a serrated knife to cut in through the skin and the fat cap there. I've now patted it dry, and I'm going to go ahead and use Frenchie's mustard just as a binder. So we're going to go ahead and soak our entire pork shoulder in that mustard. Then we're going to hit it with some Barbecue Pit Boys Big Texan Dry Rub. And it's real important here we get this bad boy fully covered, because this is the seasoning that's going to add flavor to the entire pork shoulder. Now in this video, I kind of did this right before putting it on the smoker, but you can put your dry rub on the night before to let it sit and marinate in that rub. This will increase the flavor, but I do recommend you don't go any more than the night before, because the flavor can actually get a bit overwhelming in some cases. So once we let it rest for, 30 minutes or so, and the pit is up to temp, currently running at about 275, we're going to throw this pork shoulder onto the pit, and we're going to put it towards the fire with the fat cap facing the fire. What that's going to do is it's going to help render it down a little bit quicker, as well as form a nice exterior bark on the pork shoulder that's going to add unbelievable texture once we actually get to pulling it. But for that, we got to be patient. So this cook usually takes about 9 hours. Sometimes it can even go 10 or 11, depending on how big the piece of meat you're cooking is. But patience is key here, and just monitoring internal temperatures. That's also really important. So at this point in the video, we've just passed about an hour on the pit, and I'm spraying this down with apple cider vinegar. That's going to allow the outside to stay moist and not kind of crisp up and kind of like burn a little bit. We're trying really hard to avoid that. You'll even notice after this clip, I believe it is, I've actually rotated the pork shoulder about halfway through. I think it was about 4 or 5 hours in. Now we've hit about the 6 to 7 hour mark. Actually, this is just about 6 hours, and look at that. It's looking fantastic. But this is where we go Nova Scotian with it. So I'm going to add a red onion, about 2 bulbs of garlic, a full jalapeno, and then whatever type of barbecue sauce you want. Today I'm using a sweet and sticky barbecue sauce, because it's my favorite. And we're going to go ahead in there, and we're going to add in a couple knobs of butter as well. Then we're going to go ahead and close this up with some tinfoil. Now for this, I actually did 3 layers of tinfoil. I wanted to make sure it was good and covered and really allowed itself to steam in that tinfoil bin there. So I'm just rearranging these racks of ribs, because I wasn't really managing space the best at this point. But yeah, so threw on the tinfoil, and what's really important with tinfoil is you don't let the fire kind of like burn it, right? It is a metal, so we want to be careful with it. So what I like to do is I drop a blocking log in front of it, and that's going to take a lot of that like direct heat from the fire and kind of, disperse it a little bit. It's going to take the brunt of that, and it's not going to let that side of the tinfoil overcook compared to the other side of the tinfoil. So I've left this tinfoil wrapping on for about 2 to 3 more hours on the offset smoker, and I'm thinking we're about ready, guys. Check this out. I'm going to reach in there and try and pull this bone out. And holy cow, It came right out. Like there was no resistance whatsoever. This meat is actually falling apart in my hands. I'm pretty dang excited at this point. I wish I had to film my face. I have an ear-to-ear grin on right now. I kind of hesitated to use my hands at first. I grabbed these claws here and I realized how soft the meat was. I just picked it up and here we go. Boom, just give it a quick squeeze. The whole thing fell apart. This is exactly what you want to see. You can just go in there with your gloves, give it a quick squeeze, and literally pull the pork apart. That's why they call it pulled pork. One of the best things pulled pork does for you once you've made it is it really allows you to make a lot of meals out of it. You can make just a simple pulled pork sandwich. You can make pulled pork nachos. You can make pulled pork barbecue pizza. Oh man, that's a good one. I got one of those little uni ovens. Holy, that's a quick win if I'm telling you about it. And what else can you make with pulled pork? Pulled pork poutine. That's a real good one too. Anyway, check this out. I'm just going to whip it up, be simple with it, make myself a little sandwich. But my little sandwich is going to have an extra little twist, maritime style, because I'm using Earl's signature sauces. What's the dill? It's a pickle hot sauce. Like, it's so good. I normally put pickles on my pulled pork. This is a whole other level. Honestly, I even tried this hot sauce on a pickle. Oh, buddy, it was good. I highly recommend checking out all of Earl's signature sauces, but specifically, what's the dill? Because it's totally worth it. Otherwise, thanks again for watching another one of my recipe videos. It means a lot to me that you spend the time and watch through this. I always try and release new recipe videos with new little twists. If you have any recommendations or anything you want to see, let me know in the comments below, and make sure you like and subscribe. You take care, stay safe, and have a wonderful day and a wonderful dinner.